All right, we are out in our watermelon field in the morning. It's a nice, cool, breezy morning. And we are collecting cucumber beetles. This is from the research station in Georgetown. We're going to give them a vial pyrethroid bioassay for resistance. We have over there our cantaloupe field, which we will be harvesting soon, the highlight of the summer when all of our hard work and sweat starts paying off and paying dividends. I'm going to drown the research station and my crew in cantaloupes. Ha ha ha. But over in the cantaloupes, we have plots that were treated with bifenthrin and one or two other pyrethroids, so it'll be a nice complement to our vial testing that we've also done from beetles in the Hurlock area and the Blades area. While we're out in this field collecting cucumber beetles, we just pluck them off the flowers, and if it's a male blossom, we pick the whole flower. But every now and then we find corn earworm in the blossom. Corn earworm will feed on the rind, so if you see a lot of earworm on blossoms, you might want to treat a watermelon field for them. This here watermelon has some rind scarring, but this is not insect. This is environmental. It scraped on something, and it's starting to color up nicely. So, since I'm not a watermelon grower, this is how I test for ripeness. All right, this is how I test to see if my melons are ready. Yeah, it doesn't quite look like it. Nope, not yet. Needs another week. I can tell it's sweet, but it's still pretty green tasting. This is the nicest thing about working with watermelons. When we get hot, tired, and dehydrated, we've got ourselves a insta rehydration. Soon. Farm, just a different side of the field, and I am away from the microphone. What I wanted to point out though real quick, this particular farmer likes to plant a pass of forage soybeans around his plenished soybeans, and you can see the deer feeding on this, and we've had a lot of rain. Luke McCauley at University of Maryland has shown that deer do most of their soybean foraging a couple of days after a rainfall event. So we got a new flush of growth that's nice and succulent, and that's when they'll feed on it. And then they do a lot less feeding as that growth slows down and I guess gets a little tougher and less moist. Anyway, so this is what the forage soybeans look like, but then right next to it we've got our regular soybeans. And yes, I still see some deer feeding, but not as much. So forage, regular, forage, non-forage. So this is neat. It's neat to see this sort of thing in fields. All right, today is July 29th. And we are down at Salisbury, Maryland, where the University of Maryland has planted some sweet corn for a spray trial. This year, because of all the spray trials at the research station, I wanted to spread out some of my spray trial work a little bit. Last year, I felt like there was so much sweet corn at Carville that it kind of interfered a little bit with getting glorious pressure in our sweet corn spray trials. Emily had a whole lot of sweet corn. A few other groups did too. What I wanted to point out in today's video is these tassels. Now, if we were on top of this, we would have caught this earlier. See all this? Those are skins from corn leaf aphid. And if we look real careful, we'll find them. Yeah, there's a nice big colony of corn leaf aphids. We also have Yeah, look at this one. That's amazing. I have never seen corn leaf aphid like this in the tassels. So this could be an interesting trial. Pyrethroids are known for flaring up aphids. This hasn't been treated with pyrethroids. So it'll be interesting to see if we can't juice the aphid population along when we start spraying this at the end of this week or very early next. The other thing I wanted to point out is in these tassels, we don't have a big armyworm population, but we do have some armyworm present. Let's see if I can't find one real quick. Ah, here's one. So that's where an armyworm was feeding. I don't think this one is home. Oh, nope, it is. It's still in there, and it's home. So I get asked quite often, what is a good armyworm material? Yeah, here's, wow, this is amazing. A lot of aphids. Every one of these tassels has a big aphid colony in it, just about. All right, back to armyworms. So I get asked, what is a good armyworm material? I really like Intrepid Edge and Avant for armyworm in whorl stage sweet corn. We've done some unreplicated strip trials, and those two consistently outperform our other labeled materials. It even outperforms Besiege, and I don't like to use Besiege for cleaning up armyworms in whorl stage sweet corn because we are limited in how much Besiege we can apply. If you look at the label, it's no more than 31 fluid ounces of Besiege, and I want to save all of that for silk sprays. We are soon going to be in August. Our moth flight is going to begin real soon. Virginia's and North Carolina's have already begun, and we're going to be spraying sweet corn 6 times or so, and I want to save all of that 31 fluid ounces for silks. It is the best earworm material. Now, the advantage to something like Intrepid Edge or Radiant, they're really expensive. But the advantage is if you combine that with a pyrethroid, you've got yourself a very good silk application for earworm protection. Avant is not labeled for silking control of corn earworm. And here's a patch of armyworm. You can see the window painting where a small armyworm started up. More window painting, but these armyworms are all in the tassels. They're going to get pushed out. The threshold is lower, 10 to 15% of late whorl stage tassel push worms. There's a bigger one. And it's, oh, 2. This is a 2-fer. 3-fer. A 3-fer. Yeah, so we got a nice little cluster of armyworm damage here. All right, so that's for mid-whorl stage. That's what I like. Lanate will work, but not as good. You'll probably get rid of about 40-50% of armyworm in mid-whorl stage sweet corn with lanate or lanate with a pyrethroid tank mix. Pyrethroids don't do very good against armyworm. Early sweet corn, let's say the sweet corn was this big or smaller, lanate would probably be okay. But if sweet corn is mid-whorl stage or bigger, no. And the reason I say that is because plants that are really small don't have enough real estate for a large worm, so it's going to come out and move around a lot more than a mid-whorl stage plant. At this stage, though, we've got corn leaf aphid. Corn leaf aphid is very susceptible to lanate. The worms are getting pushed out of these tassels. They are going to be exposed to lanate. This is a good stage to hit these worms with lanate. And that would be, if I had to make a recommendation on this field, that would be my recommendation. Wipe out your corn leaf aphids and your armyworm and start rolling with sweet corn and silk sprays for earworm protection. Now, one more thing to note. There are other aphid species that will get into sweet corn. This is corn leaf aphid. It's got this greenish color, and we've also got some beneficials here. It looks like some ladybug larvae. But corn leaf aphid has this kind of this just green color to it. It's kind of rectangular, maybe a greenish blue color. Melon aphids will occasionally get into sweet corn, and in sweet corn it's very yellow, very round aphid. Bird chariot aphids will get into sweet corn. Melon aphids are not susceptible to lannate. So then you've got to reach deep down in that pocket and pull out an assail spray, or maybe a Savanto or a transform spray, but not lannate. All of these aphids are corn leaf aphids, and this is typical corn leaf aphid behavior right here, just blowing up in that tassel. We see this in sorghum all the time. Lannate will do a great job here. So I'm going to go put out some stakes. I think we might start our spray program Friday. I think some of these, like this plant here, and maybe this plant over here that looks like it's starting to maybe even shed some pollen, I think it'll be silking tomorrow. Yeah, see, we've got some pollen shed, but no silk yet. I think it might start silking tomorrow. But for logistics reasons, I think if we don't make a spray on Friday, then we will wait until early next week. But I think this will be a Friday spray. All right, let me go get the field staked off. Talk to you later.